Hey everybody, welcome back to Ambiguity. It's Mondays with Tygh, and today's topic is the surgery and what it means to me. For me, the surgery means top surgery because that's where I had most of my dysphoria. The term the surgery, I think, affects me very negatively. I don't like it. But I think for most people, the term the surgery refers to bottom surgery. So when people ask if I've had the surgery, I assume they're asking, the status of my genitals. And most of the time that's kind of offensive. I mean, I don't look at them and ask them what their genitals look like. So I think you have to be careful about asking someone about their surgery history, because for one, you can't assume that they've had surgery, you can't assume that they even want surgery, and you can't assume their gender identity just based on their gender expression. So there's a lot involved. It's kind of like asking a woman who has a bit of a belly, when did your baby do? That's not good. you know. So the only time I feel it's appropriate is when a trans person or an ally is asking for advice and information for themselves or a loved one. So the surgery, go back to that again, could also mean all different kinds of surgeries. It can mean they're asking if you've had a hysterectomy, if you've had top surgery, manscaping. It could mean if you've had facial feminization surgery, breast augmentation surgery, or even electrolysis. I mean, and the list goes on. So, but why should it matter? Why should it matter what your surgical status is? I mean, I just don't get that. Like I said before, I believe it's fine to ask if you're truly asking for advice or information. I think that people should ask in a respectful way, possibly even a sensitive way, and be specific as to what type of surgery you're talking about. I mean, I've had tons of surgeries in my lifetime. Let's see if I can start to list them. I mean, I've had 2 ACL surgeries on my knee. I've had 2 ganglion cysts removed from my foot. I've had Morton's neuroma removed from my foot. I've had a hysterectomy. I've had a nephrectomy. And I've had top surgery. So how can I assume what surgery they're talking about? I think the bottom line is you just can't assume someone has had surgery, and you can't assume that they're willing to have an open conversation about it. If it were me, I would try to ask these types of questions in more general terms, like, do you know anything about having top surgery? Do you know anything about hysterectomy? Do you know anything about metoidioplasty or phalloplasty? Ask it in that way. This way, if they're asked that way, they're not asking specifically about you and what surgeries you've had. So I think and in that way they're asking, more about, what information they can gather for themselves or for their loved ones, if it's an ally asking or something like that. So, and then also at that point, you can decide, how much you want to reveal about your own surgical history. So there is, I think, an instance that it could be okay to ask, and a person person has the right to ask you specifically about your surgeries, and that is if you're moving towards some sort of an intimate relationship. And even then, the person should ask kind of delicately, you know? I mean, not to walk on eggshells or anything, but a lot of people have dysphoria, you know, and it might trigger them in some way, you know. Having these kinds of surgeries is not easy. So basically, you know, people just need to be thoughtful and respectful, and should remember to only ask questions that they themselves would be comfortable answering. So that's basically it. That's all I have about the surgery. um, anyway, I hope everybody's well, and I will catch you guys next week. Okay.